Good morning, Coach. How we doing?
Royal, good morning. How are you?
I'm making it, Coach. I'm making it. Coach, I wanted to jump right into it. There's a saying that when you prepare, you don't have to get ready. And what we saw from Paul recently, 24 points on 60% shooting nearly. What's just been your assessment on just his breakout, his first career start? Is that just a glimpse of what we have coming for this NC State basketball program?
You know what, man? Roy, he's worked extremely hard. Typical freshman, comes in, um, man, loves the freedom that he has in college, probably having a good time off the court. Big time scorer out of high school, but really has to adjust to how to score at the college level, a little bit more physicality, um, games a little bit quicker, but has stayed and locked into the process and gotten better and worked hard every day. And usually at some point, freshmen will turn a corner. And we start seeing that with him about 2 or 3 weeks ago in practice and the times that we put him in a game. And I'm just happy for him. He's worked so hard, and our team needed some energy, and I thought he provided a lot of energy and made shots for us on Saturday.
And Coach, to follow up that, what's been the best way for your players to kind of like block out the noise going through the mishaps through thick and thin, but they still have a coach that's up the bat for them. And that's referring to Michael O'Connell, who had faced a lot of criticism recently, but you were able to back up for him, and he had one of the best performances of the season just a couple days ago.
Well, in this world, it's very easy to criticize, and certainly we're in a business and a sport that you can be criticized. But we tell our guys lock in. I mean, everybody in this world can be criticized. The unfortunate thing about it is that we don't know what most people's job is, and so we don't go to their job or we don't tweet and we don't do all that other stuff. We tell our guys just lock in. You trust your work, trust the folks who have that you're around every day. Don't ever get too high when they say some great things about you. Like Michael had 13 assists, and I want people, don't when people saying how great you play, that's reality. Stay even keel, and when you don't play well, you're gonna get some criticism. So I think our guys understand that. He was also a part of a team last year that lost the last four that got heavily criticized, but heavily celebrated after we cut the nets down last year. And so I think he's mature enough to understand that that happens in this business.
Thank you, Coach.
James Henderson.
Hey, Kevin, I wanted to ask you about Dontrez Styles. 17 shot attempts the last game, 11 three-point attempts. I think were season highs for him. Different level of aggression. Was it maybe the way Wake was defending him? What do you think led to that volume? Because he had a big game for you.
He played between him and Paul. The first half of the Carolina game didn't go as any of us expected, but if there was a silver lining, as we scored 47 points in the second half, our guys completely came out and didn't like the way we played. And I thought the two guys that really really played well in the second half was Dontrez and Paul, and it's kind of carried over. They were good in practice, they were locked in, and Trez is playing really good basketball for us. And the games that we have won, he's been a big part of that. And I thought he was completely locked in and focused. And I think a lot of people after our loss wrote us off as a team that may lay down and may not play well. But that's not what our program's about. And we got some guys with some pride in the locker room. And we beat a really good Wake Forest team on Saturday because our guys just came out a little bit more focused and hungry than obviously they've been in a long time.
Kip Coons.
Yeah, good morning, Kevin. Congratulations on a nice win Saturday to beating Wake. Uh, I wanted to ask you more looking ahead to the ACC tournament, kind of a two-part question. Do you like the idea that three teams, and right now could be yours, won't be extended invitations to the ACC tournament? And kind of diverging off that, what was the rationale not to add a 16th team when it would it seem logical to balance the bracket that way?
Well, I think Kip, someone asked me this the other day. I think it should be 80 some teams in the NCAA tournament. So of course, I think everybody should go to the tournament that qualifies. The decision is way above my head. I don't know. I leave that up to the decision makers. We just have to obviously try to put ourselves in a situation to try to get there. Um, but I don't know where it came from. If it was voted by the coaches, I don't remember ever voting for it. So I don't know where it came from. But if you said to me, I would love for everybody to have a chance because getting in there, um, if that was the case last year, then there may not have been an NC State story, or in the past. So at the end of the day, I think everybody should go, but that's above me.
Corey Smith.
Kevin, obviously, every game of the season is going to be critical. You want to win every single one of them, but Wednesday against Syracuse, given the place where the two teams are in the standings and the fact that you have a chance to potentially jump them with them only having a few games remaining, how big is this game and how important is this game for you to try to make that ACC tournament run?
Corey, it's a big game, and it's a big game for several reasons. It's the next game on our schedule. It's the next game after playing a really good game at home against Wake Forest. There's great opportunities, and going down the stretch, you want to try to finish strong. We were completely opposite last year. We didn't finish strong. And so it's a good game. And I say it whether Syracuse's record is where they at or our record, it will be important for us because we want to try to finish strong as we can going down the stretch. And I think our guys understand that part of it. But we want to try to build some momentum. We have won 2 out of the last 3 games that we played. When you talk about Boston College and also Wake at home. So we want to try to build on that.
I'll go next to Jaden Watson Fisher.
I hate to ask again, but do we have any updates on Mike James?
We don't. I would say, Jaden, at this point, it would be safe to say that we probably won't see Mike James. I typically will, evaluate him every Monday and just kind of figure out where he's at. Obviously, it's early in the day. We practice here at 2:30. I'll get a chance to see him a little bit earlier. But I haven't talked to him or the doctors or trainers today. He may walk in and I may say, may tell you later on in the week that, man, he's ready to go, but I wouldn't anticipate that.
Zach Wolf.
Coach, in terms of Syracuse, what do you see out of them in terms of scouting them, and what poses kind of a threat for you guys on Wednesday?
I just think they're good. I mean, you know what? Their record may not indicate it. Our record may not indicate it, but they do a good job. Stallings is really good. He puts a lot of pressure on your defense, and they got great size. They can score inside and out. They got some guys who are starting to play together. It's a good team. They mix it up. Obviously, Red's done a really good job of playing some man to man, and then mixing in some of the traditional 2-3 zone that they play. But they're competing. They've lost a couple games similar to us that really came down to the stretch and they came out on the other side of it. But I just think when I think of them, they got a very legitimate wing scorer and then a really good post guy and some supporting cast around them, and I think that makes them really good.
Noah Fleischman.
Hey, Coach, you've talked in the past about Michael O'Connell and I guess, the criticism he's taken, from his season this year. But, how do you think, what was it like for you to see him, have a 13 assist game over the weekend? And how do you think that can help him kind of build going into March?
Yeah, no, Michael, and listen, he's when you're the head coach at one of these programs, you're gonna get criticized by every fan base, and you're gonna get loved on at times. But also, when you're the point guard, similar to a quarterback position, you're gonna get criticized. I think Michael is old enough to handle that because he's been through the highs and lows, and there's no higher situation than it was when obviously we won what we won, and he made the big shot against Virginia. I just want him to continue to grow. being criticized is one thing, but we had some open looks this year that obviously just didn't go in. And I think a lot of time Michael would get blamed for that, but he's probably had some games, maybe not that where he was going to get 13 assists, but he could probably had, 9 or 10 if we'd made some of our open shots. And so I just think he stayed the course. He understands. I think he's criticized a lot because he's not the traditional point guard that we've had here in a Jaquel Joyner that can score the ball and pass. And, he's really a point guard. And sometimes those guys don't get the credit. I said this on my radio show, if a running back, gets 200 yards, very seldom are you going to see the lineman get any credit in the newspaper. Well, if we're making shots, then sometimes a point guard's doing a good job getting the ball to the right spot. And that's kind of how I see it with him.
One last quick one in from Jaden.
Yeah, after rewatching the film from Saturday, what do you think specifically went well that allowed y'all to come away with the big win and that you want to carry forward in these last several games?
Well, going down the stretch, Jaden, you want to have small wins. And so when you look at it I thought that was our best complete game where we put two really good halves together. But I also throw this in, if you look at the second half of the Carolina game, and then you look at, Wake Forest first and second half, I thought, for the first time in a long time, we had played three really good halves of basketball. And I thought we played on both ends of the floor and we moved the ball, think about this 23 assist on 29 made field goals, pretty impressive. We made 13 3-pointers, and I thought our defense was really stingy against a very good Wake Forest offensive team.
Kevin, thank you. Appreciate the time.